I'm here in Arizona along the state highway that goes up to Safford, and we're approaching the beautiful Graham or Peñaleño Mountains in Arizona, and driving through the San Simon Valley. And the reason I stopped here to take this video is because this valley is completely overgrazed. I mean, there's virtually no grass and virtually no topsoil. We're looking at, the mineral or subsoil that's left after an area is overgrazed and degraded to the point where the soil has pretty much been eroded away completely, and the vegetation is inadequate to produce and regenerate the soil base. As a result, you've got very little in the way of plants growing, and I suspect through at least part of the year you've got cattle roaming this area and eating all the grass they can get. Got a little bit of grass right there, so that's a good sign. We're at the end of the summer rain season. I think the rains here have been below normal, so to speak, and as a result you haven't had the humidity. This area is interesting because in the late 1800s it was an area that was ranched by the pioneers in those days, and previous to that by the Spanish and Mexicans, and it was well known as a very productive grazing region. And this is also the area in which the Apache wars were fought. To the south we've got Dos Cabezas and the Chiricahua Mountains. But since the 1880s, it appears that the kind of steady grazing that's taken place here has maintained this area in a degraded state. I came here many times in the 70s and early 80s, and since then not much has changed. And so it's really, you really can see the impact of the overgrazing that took place 150 years ago and the long-term impact that it's had. And because it takes something in the neighborhood of 400 years to rebuild an inch of topsoil in this region, and that's probably being optimistic, the chances are that this area will never revert to the lush grasslands that existed in the late 1800s when it was grazed down to nothing. Anyway, just to give you a sense of what it looks like. And interestingly, often you see big differences between the area where livestock is fenced in versus areas that livestock are kept out of, along a highway, for example. And there are some differences here. Primarily, there's just much more mesquite towards the main highway, but for the most part, it doesn't look all that different. So you're really talking about a soil that has very little in the way of organic matter, very little capacity to hold water, to hold rainfall, and very little capacity to regenerate plant growth. So as a result, you basically have an area that is undergoing or underwent desertification here that has not really been able to come back to the beautiful grassland that existed here at one time. So, signing out from the San Simon Valley in southern Arizona.